Hey everyone, I'm Autistic Ange. This is a podcast for adults who recently found out they're autistic and are looking for other autistic people like them. Today, I would like to talk about rumination because I just had a whole week of it and I'm still not done. Everybody ruminates. I do get that, but many of us autistics do this on a regular basis to the point to where it's ingrained in us. For me, it just comes very naturally. Sometimes when I'm aware of it, I don't care. Merriam-Webster defines rumination as like going over repeatedly in the mind, often casually or slowly. And to me, that definition doesn't sound so bad because I do go over things repeatedly in my mind, casually and slowly. But too much of anything is never good. And rumination can and does lead to anxiety and often irrational thinking. So the things I'm going to talk about in this episode are similar to what I talked about in the last one, but here I'll share all of my thoughts, most of which I very clearly am aware are irrational. Now I know this falls into the anxiety category because I'm focused on the future, but how can this not be ruminating when I do this on a consistent basis with almost anything? All right, so here comes the craziness. The dumpster, if I don't want to redo all this stuff or re-talk about it or whatever. So if you need clarification, you can just listen to the last episode if this is your first one. So the dumpster being delivered. All kinds of thoughts about that. I had to be up early in the morning, which was not my favorite thing. So I had to set an alarm. And then I was hoping that I would hear the alarm. I knew I would probably get up before the alarm went off, which I did. But I started ruminating big time. No, I don't know. It's I want to think about every potential scenario and possible solution or 5 for that scenario. So with this dumpster being delivered, I was I had to ask my neighbor if I could borrow her driveway for the week because she's got 2 driveways. So she lets those of us around the neighborhood who need some extra parking once in a while park in that second driveway. So, she doesn't mind, and I know this, and she said that, but it's still, I don't like to be a burden to anybody or bother them. And, my car, I don't really go out a whole lot. So my car's just kind of sitting over there for a whole week. But so I was I felt bad, if that inconvenienced her at all. And she just wasn't saying that. But that's irrational because, I'm sure it wasn't inconvenient for her. But I didn't know who was going to come. Am I going to hear the doorbell? This is stupid shit. I really am just in my room, which is right by the front door, and I can see everything. So I don't know why I thought these thoughts, but I needed to think about them in order to feel less anxious, if that makes any sense, because it really doesn't, but it kind of does. Ruminating makes me feel less anxious, I think. Yeah, I think so. It's not really something that's recommended that people do. Usually people go to therapy to learn how not to ruminate and to think more rationally. But for me, I don't mind being preoccupied with different thoughts. I've already accepted that I'm autistic and I've made it this far in life with the same kinds of behaviors. I don't see those changing. I don't see my anxiety suddenly getting better overnight. So I'm just going to embrace the rumination, even if that may not be the most healthiest thing. It works for me, and I know it stems from PTSD. I know, and so many other things, just being autistic, that's a huge feature too. But, I like to try to prepare for any possible scenario so that I'll know what to do in each of those scenarios so that I won't be, caught off guard by something if I can help it. So there was all those thoughts about the dumpster being delivered, including how do I pay her, cash or card? We had to figure that out. And, is the dumpster going to be able to fit next to our house? Of course it was, but, I was worrying about that too. and how long is the person going to be out there talking to me? And it turns out like it's a female owned dumpster business, but I thought it was so cool because like I've never seen a woman driving a ginormous truck, unloading this huge ass dumpster, and then coming back and then like attaching it to her truck in seconds and driving off like it was nothing. Like I've never seen a woman do that. I thought it was fucking cool. And I'll definitely be calling them again down the road if we ever need a dumpster because we're doing projects or whatever. But so yeah, I was wondering like, so I knew that, you know, a lady was coming, but I did not know, like, is she going to talk a whole bunch? Because I don't want to talk. I just want you to deliver the dumpster, please, and then leave. And I couldn't believe it. Like, she had brought it, and she dropped it off, and I paid her, and she left. And she was in and out in 5 minutes, and that was fucking fantabulous. Because... oh my God, I hate it when like these random people just like the tree people a few weeks ago, like they wanted to talk about all kinds of things out there. But this lady struck me as very like introverted, and I could tell that she preferred texting versus calling because she kind of, you know, hinted that like she preferred to text or whatever. And I'm totally okay with that because I don't like calling either. And then, so she comes to pick it up today. She actually just left a little while ago. And I was having thoughts of like, okay, well, it's $15 extra to put a mattress in the dumpster. Will she believe that we only put one mattress in there? Because you can't see to the bottom because of all the crap we throw out. And like, that's not normal. I mean, people don't usually like sit there and wonder if they'll be believed on what they did or didn't throw out, right? Like, I don't know. I always like, I'm still struggling with that because I feel like that's like a lifelong thing for me. Like people just not believing me no matter what the fuck I say about anything. But so last night, she texted and she's like, are y'all ready for the pickup tomorrow? And I texted back, I said, yes, thank you. And I thought she was going to give me a time, and like a few minutes went by, I didn't hear anything. So I texted her back and I was like, would it be possible to give me an approximate time frame? And she texted and said, I can't because I don't know, like, I guess, I don't know. She didn't know, like, when she was going to be able to do it until the day of, which was today. So she's like, I'll text you an hour before I come pick it up. And I was like, okay. But then I was thinking, like, what? Like, well, what if she wants to come at, like, 10 in the morning? Like, I don't like getting up that early. What if I sleep through a text? Yeah, all these stupid thoughts. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I wish I had a time, but I understand that, you know, it's not always possible to get one. So I ended up just kind of waking up on my own around like 8:30, I think it was this morning, because I probably went to sleep with a bunch of anxiety about this. So of course I woke myself up. And I mean, it's like just after 2:00 in the afternoon, and she got here like 30 minutes ago, and super simple. She was in and out in 5 minutes, barely said a word to me, and oh my God, it was the best thing in the world. This probably sounds very ridiculous, but like I appreciate it when people don't talk to me. You know, like, especially like services, you know, like, don't get me wrong, like, I'm very grateful for people and what they do. You know, like, I'm grateful that this lady has like a female-owned dumpster business and they drive all the trucks themselves and they're willing to do, like, I really, really appreciate that. I just like with services, I just want the service and I would like to say thank you for it, and I don't want to have a conversation about anything else. I just don't. Anyways, then like there was going to pick out the recliner that I talked about at the beginning of last week. And all the kinds of thoughts I had about that, like, we're wandering through the store, and like there was this lady that, you know how like you walk in and like to a furniture store and like one of the staff people just kind of fucking just gets glued to you, like, oh, hello, I'm available in case you need to buy like this couch, or if you have any questions about anything, because, you know, I get they want to make a sale. But, like, I already was thinking about that before we even got into the furniture place because I don't like it like that. I don't like when people do that. It makes me, like, I feel very pressured to make a decision quickly. Even though rationally I know that I can take as much time as I want, but I can't help these thoughts. And so the lady was nice, you know, she checked in every so often, which I wish she hadn't. Like, I wish they could just be like, this is my name. You know, when you've made your decision, go to the customer service and they can page me. I don't know, like over the system or something. I don't know. Like, why can't it just be like that? So that I was already like worried about. And then it was a nice furniture place. We've been there before. We've bought stuff from them before. But, like, you know, people dress nice in places like that, which I've never understood. And, you know, my wife and I just walked up in there with, like, shorts and a t-shirt. And, you know, I had this really bad experience years ago when I went into a furniture store and I walked in like that. And, like, the person who greeted me didn't even fucking try to hide their expression. It was, like, a look of disgust. Like, oh, my God, I can't believe you're actually coming in here dressed like that. Like, what's the big deal? Like, why do you have to dress up to buy furniture? That's weird. But anyway, so, like, we're going around, like, this ginormous room with all these recliners, and, you know, I had talked before about, like, it just needs to speak to me. I hate, like, it sounds so stupid saying it like that, but it just does. Like, I don't even necessarily have to sit in it to know that it's the right one for me. And so, like, I'm looking at all these different recliners. Like, we had gone into, like, a couple of other stores, and it was taking me forever to, like, find one. And then, like, also I want to, like, keep the price in mind because I don't like spending tons of money on stuff like that, even though I know, you know, it's kind of what that stuff usually costs. But so, and then the lady, she wasn't being rude. She was just, you know, hanging around to be ready when we needed her because it would look like a slow day there. And, like, I know she could overhear me talking to my wife about, like, my preferences, what I do and don't like about the chairs, about all kinds of stuff. And, like, I don't like that anybody else can overhear my conversation. Like, look at all these fucking stipulations, man, just for existing. Like, this is so bizarre. These are my thoughts. God. Like, and you know what? I take that back. Rumination does give me a headache sometimes. Yeah, I'll just say that. Sometimes it really isn't fun. And it really does spin me up so much. So, like, yeah. Most of the time I'm okay with it, but sometimes not so much. So, yeah, there was that. And then, like, you know, I find what I want. We go and we sit at the desk and she pulls up her computer stuff and, like, you know, does all that. And that takes, like, we were there for like 15 minutes sitting at that desk. And we, you know, it was just her and my wife and I. And I was thinking, like, am I supposed to say something? Like, is it okay that we're sitting here in silence? Because I'm okay with it. But, like, is she okay with it? Like the lady. I don't know. Just ridiculous. Then the recliner being delivered. So I got the delivery day for, was it Friday, I think? Yeah, last Friday was when they delivered it. And I got my time frame the night before. And then, so, like, I had been spending the week, like, making room for this recliner. It's actually, like, a 2-set. But anyways, I'm not good at describing things, but it's a nice recliner. And I knew people were going to be coming into the house, and our house it's not, like, disorderly. Excuse me. I hope you didn't hear that. I burped. I'm sorry. But, like, I knew people were going to be coming into the house, and I don't like that. But I do need them to bring this heavy piece of furniture in for me. And then so they're in the living room, these two dudes. Not the living room, my room, which used to be the living room, but there's a whole episode I did about that. You can go back and listen to it if you want. But yeah, so they're in here setting this thing up. And, like, I'm in the other room sitting in a chair kind of facing this room. And so, like, I'm sitting there thinking, like, do they think I don't trust them? that like I'm just staring at them, watching them work because I think they're going to take something. And then I was like thinking like, do I go into another room? But then is that rude or something? And then I always offer people who come over to bring deliveries and stuff like water. I don't know. I just think it's the polite thing to do. They're in bottles, you know. Can't catch COVID from a water bottle, I don't think. Maybe like when it first started you could. But anyways, I offered them. I said, do you guys want some water or anything? And they didn't. And then I'm like, I never know if I'm supposed to tip or not. I usually just don't. Because I used to back in the day, because it was expected, but like, I don't know, something, it's just, people seem like very funny about taking like tips, like when you hand them cash. I don't know. I've actually been told no before. No, thank you. So like now I have a fear of rejection about offering a tip. It's so dumb. But anyways, they were only here for about 10 minutes and they left. But like, it gets me so worked up. Like it does. And like, I have all these thoughts and like, I know like as I'm having them, I pretty much know that they're irrational, but I cannot help but entertain them. God. I had talked about my neighbor and the bottle return place when she was in there. And I think I described all my thoughts that were floating through my mind at that point. Like sensory overload, because all you hear is this huge machine like making all this noise with all these bottles getting like fucking whipped around. And, you know, like there's so much to pay attention to. You know, there's my wife putting the bottles in the thing. I have to untie the bags. And then my neighbor just yapping in my ear the entire fucking time. And I was so frustrated. I had thoughts like, shut the fuck up. Like, this is mean, but I kept it inside my head. But I was like, shut the fuck up. Can you please leave? Like, why are you still here? You just got done with your bottles like 10 minutes ago. You should have just said, goodbye, see you later, and then left. But no, you stay. You're still here and you're talking to me. Why are you telling me these different stories? Why can't you just stay stuck on a topic, and just talk about that for a bit? Like, do you have ADHD? Which if she does, no judgment. And just like, her stories were like 30 seconds each. Hard to follow, hard to hear. And I didn't want to follow. Man, like, just on the outside in public, usually, like, I mean, I have had my moments, but like for the most part, it is not evident on my face what's going on inside my head at all, like at all. And I make that, I make sure it's that way because it's just embarrassing. It's embarrassing enough to have like these kinds of feelings and thoughts that, you know, can lead to meltdowns, but it's another thing to like do it with witnesses in public, people that you're going to have to see again. So that takes a lot of energy. Like I tried really hard because I don't want to be rude to people. I don't want to be rude. They don't deserve that. People, you know, she was a nice lady. She is a nice lady. I just don't care. Like that was just, who does that? I would never sit there and scream in somebody's ear for 15, 20 minutes while they're trying to do bottles. And no, I just wouldn't do that. God. Anyways, yeah. I'm just going to move past that because that led to almost a meltdown and I don't want to go back there. Anyways, so what else? So like that same neighbor, her sister used to be our landlord, but we bought the house from her and we consider her family. So my wife is staying next door at her place for 1 week at the end of the month because her and her sister, who is the lady that was at the bottle return place, if you're following that, her and her sister are going somewhere for a week and they have a cat and then they have a dog that need to be watched. So the last time, it was like back in April, my wife spent a week over there when they didn't have the dog yet. They just had the cat and she like lived there because that's what our friend asked us, you know, to do. And like, I appreciate my wife so much because she knows I would never, ever, 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 ever stay at somebody else's house. Nope. No. And like, if I was asked, if I, you know, like if our friend, her name's Janice, if Janice had asked me to be the one to go stay over there for a week, I would definitely have to decline. There's no way I would say yes to that. And I say yes to a lot of things, you know, or at least I used to, but I'd have to tell her no, because I'm not leaving my cats. I have 4 of them. We have attachment issues. I'm not leaving them. I'm not leaving my safe space. All my things are here. I want to sleep in my own bed. Like, I want to be with my own pets. Like, I don't want to go live over at this person's house for a week and do what? Run back and forth or something? I don't know. So, like, my wife offered again, which was very nice of her. And she doesn't seem to mind it too much. But there's a dog this time. And it's like, you know, it's not a puppy anymore, but it's not far from having been a puppy recently. And it runs all the fuck all over the place. It barks so loud, you know, like dogs do. And, dogs are so loud and needy. I don't like them. I mean, I'll play with them for a few minutes, but I don't ever want to own a dog. It's just, they require too much attention. And I'm too selfish for that. So she's going to go live over there for a week. And the thoughts that I'm having about this is like, oh God. God. Like, I didn't like it back in April because, like, you know, for those of you out there who are married or living with some, you know, like, it's not very fun to be apart from them, even if my wife is just next door. I don't like her being over there. I don't know what's going on. Is she okay? Like, she sleeps with a CPAP machine, you know, and, like, I know that they're helpful. They're supposed to do what they're supposed to do, but sometimes, like, she forgets to put the water in it. Or, like, falls asleep before it goes on her face. And then I have thoughts of, like, oh, she's going to fucking die. She's going to choke on... She's going to die because she didn't put that goddamn mask on. I mean, I have thoughts like that here in this house. And she's just in the other room, like... And then, you know, like, it's just... It gets kind of annoying having to just go back and forth between the two houses. Because, like, you know, like, I'll cook her meals... Because when, you know, she has crazy hours at work. She does, like, 3 nights of class a week. She doesn't have time for other stuff. So, like, you know, just having to cook stuff here and, like, put it in containers and bring it next door. Or, like, you know, bring over, like, not several, but, like, you know, maybe a suitcase worth of stuff. And then, like, she wants her pillows. Like, all the things I would bring with me. But it just gets annoying just bringing that shit back and forth. I'm lazy. I'm not gonna lie, I'm lazy, you know, but, like, the biggest issue is just, like, I'll worry about her. I don't mind. I lived by myself for many, many years. Like, I loved my solitude. I don't mind my solitude. I just, you know, want to make sure she's okay, and it kind of sucks that I can't because she's in the next house. I don't know. Is this stupid? There's so many thoughts I've had about this, and it's not even that big of a deal. People do it all the time. But anyways, I have my dentist appointment tomorrow. I started ruminating about that last week. I'm still considering canceling it and rescheduling it for like 2 months from now, but we already budgeted out the money for the nitrous because there's no way I can even get a teeth cleaning without that. It's not going to happen. And I almost left one time when they said that, like, one of their nitrous operators, technicians, whatever they're called, wasn't in for the day. And I turned around and I was like, you guys were supposed to call me when, like, this isn't available. It's in my notes. So I'm going to go. And they didn't think I was actually going to leave. And I was like, I'm not getting my teeth cleaned without nitrous because it fucking hurts. Like, I don't want to, like, you guys know, I think I don't have to explain all this, do I? God. So yeah, so I'm, like, thinking about that. It's at 3:00 tomorrow. I like afternoon appointments, but it's still, like, 24 hours from now, just about. And, you know, like, how long am I going to have to sit there and wait? Oh, by the way, this dentist's office is just across the street. Like, it's just, like, 2 minutes down the road. Like, you know, it's not that far. So, but I don't like to go and just wait forever, but I can't control that. So, like, I always wonder, like, how long am I going to have to sit and wait for? And, how much pain am I going to feel today? Are they going to give me too much nitrous? Am I going to have to, like, keep having them adjust it so it's at just the right level? Because, you know, like, every time I go back to that dentist, like, I have lost, like, a substantial amount of weight. I'm not, like, fucking 500 pounds or anything like that. Like, I've lost quite a bit of weight. And I feel very, very healthy, and I'm looking very, very healthy. At least I think so. But, you know, like, the one time I went back there after having lost like 20 pounds, and then I almost, it was not a fun experience. I mean, it was, but it wasn't. Like, you know, when you're high, like, you don't want other people to see, at least to me, I don't want people seeing me and what I'm like when I'm high. Oh God, I just feel embarrassed talking about this. Like, who needs nitrous oxide for, I think that's what it's called. Who uses that for teeth cleanings? I mean, like, one of the ladies, they're nice over there, but one of the receptionists was like, yeah, I mean, like, we only ever do that with the kids. You're the first adult that we've had ask for nitrous for teeth cleaning. And I'm like, oh, that's great. That makes me feel really good about myself. So it's like I'm trying to plan for, this is what's going to happen if, like, my dentist isn't working tomorrow, because I prefer the same dentist, the same technician. So I've got all these different things playing out in my head, and I do this every 6 months when I go in for the fucking cleaning, unless I reschedule, and then it's like 8 to 10 months. Or do you feel crazy? Are you still listening? Because if you are and you're feeling crazy, I feel like this regularly, with some things. We used Instacart yesterday. I'm very grateful for Instacart. I know that there's, like, a variety of reasons why people have groceries being delivered. Like, either they're sick, like they've got COVID, or, you know, like they've got kids and they've got stuff to do at home and it saves time. I always feel guilty when, like, the cars are in the parking lot, because we do the Instagram on the weekend, like Sundays or Mondays usually. And so, like, they come to deliver and they see 2 cars in the driveway, and I'm like, do they think we're really lazy? Is it appropriate to, like, use Instacart when you have the ability to go get the groceries yourself? And then, like, you know, the back and forth too, because sometimes you get those shoppers that don't know where the fuck anything is. And so they act like it's not at the store and they just get you something different. And then you have to choose whether or not you want to accept the replacement. And then, like, sometimes the shoppers just send pictures and, you know, like, but once in a while we'll get one that, like, finds every single thing and then delivers it all within, like, an hour. It's crazy. I really appreciate that service, but I always feel, like, super guilty. I don't know. Like, is that normal? I mean, rationally, I don't think I need to be worrying about things like this. Like, Instacart exists for a reason. They don't have any stipulations that I know of who they can and can't deliver to, or the reasons why, you know, like, but I don't even know this person. I won't ever see this person again. I don't even go to the door. Like, I have in the notes, contact free delivery. So you put the shit on there. Don't knock on the door. Don't ring the doorbell. Nope. And then they leave. And, you know, so I'm not interacting with these people in person, and I still have anxiety. And then I'm thinking, like, okay, like, when we do this on the weekend, like, the majority of people on our street are home, and, you know, we all look out our windows and shit and see what's going on. And I have thoughts of, like, do they think we're lazy? Like, every single time we use this service, like, do they know that, like, we've been busy and we've had a lot of stuff going on? And then, like, sometimes I'll share these thoughts with my wife, and she's like, it doesn't matter what other people think. It's not their business. And she's right. My routine has been being disrupted on a daily basis for about a week. If it's not my wife coming in for something or another, no offense to her, like, she know, like, when I'm working, and I'm in the zone, like, when I'm really focused and I get interrupted, it really frustrates me, because, like, I could lose all of that focus in just that 1 second that I got interrupted and not get it back again for a while. I don't know. Does that make sense? But it's not just that, like my routine, just like, all these people delivering stuff and like coming to get things and then having to make time both for like my work and cleaning out the house. Because I get very I'm very, very specific about how I work when I turn things in. Like, I'll save that for another time. That would take too much time to talk about right now. But, yeah. My routine's not been going the way I want it to go. And, like, my wife is supposed to be at work today, but she decided to stay home because she needs, like, a mental health day. And, like, I totally support that. I'm not mad at her for doing it. It's hard not to have like thoughts of like, man, I just want to be left alone and not interrupted and get my work done. And I don't mean to have like thoughts like this. And I don't mean to make her feel like I don't want her around, because sometimes I'm sure it must feel like that, but it really isn't the truth. It's just I have things I need to do and it doesn't take much for me to get distracted. But like having the recliner being delivered and then having to clean out our damn basement with all the bullshit that we shouldn't really have. It's just a lot. And, I like to wake up and my day goes a certain way because I work for myself now. I have it planned out, not down to the minute, nothing like that. But like I have my days planned out. I do things around certain times. Those are my best days because my mood is stable. Like nothing's really like making me anxious or anything. And I haven't had one day of that where nothing's gotten interrupted in the last week. And that might sound ridiculous, but like my routine is very important to me. I have a morning routine and a nighttime routine, and I'm sure that you guys understand that. Like our routines are what helps keep us grounded. Helps keep us grounded. Did I even say that right? Oh God. Yeah, so these are just like, these aren't even all the thoughts I have. These are the ones that I like remember cycling around in my head pretty regularly about these situations. But like, do you guys do this? Like, does anybody out there go to that level of like, I don't know, is it planning? Is rumination, like, is that planning? Like, I don't know, like, I'm a little confused. I don't want to give any wrong information, but I do know, and I have heard from other autistic people's books and episodes and stuff on TV that, like, rumination is a big thing within the autism community. It's not most, I shouldn't say that, I don't have any stats in front of me, but, like, many of us do it. Many of us ruminate way more than maybe, like, an ordinary person ruminates. And we do it way more frequently than an ordinary person does. And I can't, like, does this episode even make sense? Because, like, if it doesn't, sorry. Like, like when I talk about all my thoughts about all these different things, I start feeling a little bit chaotic. Like, I can't help it. But that's like what my rumination looks like. And I do it with just about everything. I could be here for an entire week nonstop talking about all the things I ruminate on, all the thoughts I have, all the plans I come up with. Was this even the right episode to do for rumination? Like, am I using the word wrong? I hope not. I don't think I am. But, like, it all seems like it ties in together, like rumination and anxiety and then like planning and then I should probably just go now. I hope you guys can relate. Yeah. Well, that's all I've got. Thank you for listening. This was just me recording into an app on my phone, hoping people find me and listen and relate. Maybe have a similar experience to what I had when I heard myself on somebody else's podcast for the first time. I'm sorry I was all over the place. I feel like I usually am all over the place, but maybe I'm not, but maybe I am. I don't know. I don't know how to talk appropriately or properly. Do you see what I mean? Okay, I gotta go. Bye.